what is the availability of the universities and the faculties that will give chance for us to establish bilateral relationship between our university and your university or faculties there. Thank you a lot.
Maybe let me answer one by one. Yeah, first of all, I want to say that our higher education system is growing and expanding over time. We have more or less had to build from scratch or quite a very low level, and a lot of transformation has been taking place. To give you a feel of the history, without going into too much detail, from the time our university was established, the first university in our country, early 60s, up to 1990. We had more or less 2,000 students graduating, maybe between slightly over, from that university, as opposed to over 35,000 graduating just 20 years when, if you look at from 90, or the time we have been there, we have over about 36,000 students graduating. So from early 60s to say 94, having slightly over 2,000, and from 94 to a couple of years back, having over 36, shows you the growth that has been taking place. But now we have universities that used to have very few students. Now we have over, close to 90,000 students that study in this one university we have created. Initially it was a government university, but and with a few faculties, now it has grown to cover that big number, but we have also allowed the private universities to develop, but still growing, still expanding, and we are now concentrating on the quality of education. I'm saying that to show that there is room for collaboration with the other universities, including this university. You can take in students, or I'm sure you can take in students from our universities, or we can establish collaborative programs that can go. So I just wanted to show there is a lot of dynamism going on in that area.
Okay, next. Sudan. Just tell your name and your country, please.
عبد الرحمن يوسف محمد عيسى من دولة تشاد. سعادة الرئيس، السؤال أو قبل السؤال، عانت القارة الإفريقية لفترات طويلة من النزاعات وعدم الاستقرار، ولعل دولتكم عانت وشربت من نفس الكأس، ولكن بحكمتكم استطعتم أن تجعلوا من رواندا نموذجا للاستقرار يشار إليها بالبنان. إذا سعادة الرئيس، كيف يتحقق الاستقرار في القارة الإفريقية ليتمكن الإفريقي من استغلال موارده لخدمة المجتمع الإفريقي وترقية بلاده؟ وكيف تنظر لمستقبل القارة الإفريقية، وما دورنا كطلاب وشباب في تجاوز حالة عدم الاستقرار في القارة الإفريقية. شكرا جزيلا.
Let me start by saying that what has happened in Rwanda just proves what is possible with many other African countries. Meaning, if you look at our own history, history of extreme instability, only 4 years ago. Of course, it means before that there were also problems. That's why in '94 we saw what we saw. But from that time, from '94 to this day, a lot of progress has taken place, and we realize this stability in our country. So I'm saying from extreme instability to peace and security and stability that we see in Rwanda today, it means something has happened, and I think that is possible for any other African country that may have had similar history. And for countries that have had better situations, I think they have even higher opportunities to grow even further than that. So what we have done is we have learned our lessons from that tragic history, and we have made sure that we put in place institutions of good governance, of accountability, and involved every citizen, as well as recognizing their rights. And then we have moved on from there. By the way, even without much in terms of natural resources as we know them, but which also proves that there is more in people, and is what they can do. Even without these natural resources, they can still do things that advance them and give them hope and promise, as we have seen in our own case. So it's what people can do, and what Rwanda has done, other people can do, or can even do that better than Rwandans. But we have had to do that. We have had to invest our time, mobilize our people, recognize their rights, and also their rights to participate in what builds their future, and hold people, each other accountable, and that's the way to proceed.
The last chance, please. Yes?
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Mine Kapoor. I'm a Rwandan student here in the International University of Africa in the Faculty of Oral and Dental Medicine. Your Excellency, African youth are currently leaving their countries to Europe looking for employment. Which advice can you give to address this problem? Thank you.
Well, first of all, we have to understand that even though the situation in Europe or other advanced economies is much better than our situation, a couple of things. We need to understand that those countries did not start from where we see them now. They started from a very bad situation like ours, or even worse. And they improved their situation up to where we see. So the first question is, why can't we do that ourselves? Why can't we do what we need to do ourselves to raise up, our countries, our economies, and progress to that level we see in Europe or other advanced economies, because they were not like that long ago. They were like us. They were, or maybe even in some cases, worse situations than we see in Africa. So maybe we need to do a few things that they did themselves to raise us to that level. But it is the young people, the same young people, and the old, and especially the leaders and everybody in our countries, to really work together to change our situations in our countries. Now, so running away from our problems may not be the right way to go. But one can argue, and I understand that some people find themselves in very bad situations, and sometimes not coming from them, maybe originating from somewhere else, and they find the easiest ways to run away and go to those places where they have worked hard and so much to be where we see they are today. The second point is we also see that even being at that level of development, those countries also have their own problems. Yeah. I don't think they are without problems. So if we want to just move from one set of problems to another set of problems, that is still one's choice. But third and the last, the main point I want to make is Africans, there are so many problems we have to deal with, but alongside that, there are so many opportunities in our midst we can build on to meet the same challenges we have. But it will take working together in individual countries and across countries. In Rwanda, we have to look at what we can do in Rwanda ourselves and work together and address our challenges, but at the same time, we have to look at what we can do with other countries, neighboring or beyond. We have, for example, to look at what Rwanda and Sudan can do together to address our challenges, and so on and so forth. So I think the young people need to be given the right opportunities, the right space, the right education, the right involvement in all aspects, but it's not just being given. It's also the young people being able to feel that they have the responsibility as well to grasp the opportunity available.
Thank you very much.